What's up everybody, BigBong here, I hope you're doing great. Yesterday I came up with an interesting concept. A while back, I made this video comparing Chinese, Japanese and Korean. Back then, I had no idea it would reach more than 2 million views. But what I found out was the fact that a lot of people actually wanted to learn the 3 languages at the same time. If that's your case, then you've come to the right place. Now come closer, don't be shy. Today, I decided to start learning Mandarin again from scratch. I thought it would be an excellent opportunity for me to connect with my Chinese audience, because for those of you who don't know, I have a channel on Bilibili, so feel free to check it out and subscribe. To do that, I'll be using the app Busu. For your information, they did not sponsor this video. In all sincerity, it's one of my favorite language learning apps. I love the design and the conciseness of each lesson. The fact that you can pass exams and get certificates for most languages is also very encouraging. Now, today's twist is that every time I learn a new Mandarin expression, I'll give its equivalent in Japanese and Korean. It's also pretty good for me because it's been a while since I last used any of these languages. So if you guys are ready, then let's get started. All right, here we go. So you can see that I'm a beginner, A1, 0% completed. Welcome to our Chinese course. All right.
你好
Ni hao.
你好
Ni hao. So far, so good. Ni hao.
我叫安娜
我叫安娜. Actually, my Chinese name is Da Bang, so that would be 你好我叫大棒
你好我叫王红
你好我叫王红 Now, how to say that in Japanese and Korean? So, in Japanese, 你好 is こんにちは And in Korean, 안녕하세요 我叫大棒 So, in Japanese, 名前はBigBong desu or simply BigBong desu. And in Korean, BigBong이라고 합니다 or BigBong이라고 해요. 你好我叫大棒 こんにちは BigBong desu. 안녕하세요, BigBong이라고 합니다.
我叫李友
我叫李友 The woman says my name is Leo. That's true. So we start by learning the pinyin, which is fair. So that was the first lesson. Good job. I'm now 1% fluent in Chinese. 3 words learned. Moving on. 你好 Welcome back.
你呢
Nina. So Nina is and you.
我叫李华你呢
我叫李花你呢 My name is Li Hua and you. 我叫李花你呢 Now, the problem with Japanese and Korean is the fact that saying you is a bit rude. So, what you would usually do is to call the person's last name followed by an honorific suffix, like sang or sama in Japanese, or shi and nim in Korean. But the issue in this specific context is that you actually don't know the person's name. So, if you literally needed to translate that sentence in Japanese, I think you would use sochira wa BigBong desu, そちらは And in Korean, I think it's a bit more neutral. Literally, it means the same thing. So, your side, 그쪽은. But I think in this specific context, we would just formulate it differently in Japanese. So, for example, we would ask, what's your name? お名前は 이름이 뭐예요? What's your name? 이름이 뭐예요? 이름이 뭡니까? I won't be reviewing the tones because I already know them and it's not going to be the first time I read Hanzi, the Chinese characters. But if you want to keep learning by yourself, you can download the app by clicking on the link in the description down below. Match the Hanzi with their opinion. Okay, so we're just reviewing the Hanzi we're supposed to know. 我你叫 Hello, my name is Li Hua and you? Oh, that's confusing. Okay, I get it. So at this point, we're not supposed to know the Chinese characters for Li Hua and Ne. So that would be hello. 你好我叫李花你呢 Ready to learn something new?
老师
老师 is teacher. 老师
学生
学生
我是老师
我是老师我不是老师
我是学生
我是学生 Okay, so how to say that in Japanese and Korean? Again, it's a bit tricky. Why? It's because the way you call the teacher and the way the teacher calls him or herself would be different. So if you want to call the teacher in Japanese, it would be sensei. You might know this one already, sensei. And you have to be careful because when you write it with the Latin alphabet, it's S-E-N-S-E-I. And so some people would say sensei, but it's actually a long E, sensei. And in Korean, it's 선생님, and sometimes you can contract it and shorten it to sim. 선생님 becomes sim. As we saw earlier, 님 is an honorific suffix, so the teacher wouldn't call him or herself 선생님입니다. At least I don't think so. And it's the same for Japanese, so we don't say sensei-sama, but a teacher wouldn't say sensei this. So the alternative would be, in Japanese, kyoshi. kyoshi. Kyoshi desu. Kyoshi desu. And the funny thing is that the shi from kyoshi is the same as 老师. And in Korean, we use the same Chinese characters as Japanese, but it's read differently. Kyosa. Kyosa예요.
你是学生吗？
你是学生吗？你是学生吗？ Are you a student? And in Japanese, that's... Oh, I forgot to tell you how to say student in Japanese. Actually, Japanese, Chinese, and Korean, they use the same Chinese characters. In Japanese, it's read gakse, gakse. It's like se is the same as sensei, gakse. And Korean, it's hakuseng, hakuseng. So, are you a student in Japanese? Gakse desu ka? Gakse desu ka? And in Korean, hakuseng이에요. Or 학생입니까? It's funny because in formal speech, both Japanese and Korean end their sentences with 가. 학생ですか? 학생입니까? Where are you from?
美国，
美国.
我是美国人。
我是美国人. So in Korean, they use the same Chinese characters. It's read 미국, 미국 사람입니다. 미국 사람이에요. And in Japanese, it's 아메리카, so American. 아메리카진 데스, 아메리카진 데스.
中国，
中国.
你是中国人。
你是中国人. So in Japanese and Korean, same Chinese characters. In Japanese, it's read 중국인. In Korean, how is it again? 중국인. 중국인입니까? 중국인이에요. So that's it for today. If you want to keep practicing, you can download the app by clicking on the link in the description down below. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this, let me know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to support this channel. On that note, I'll see you very soon for more videos. 再见，またね，나중에 봐요. Bye bye.